everybody, this is Livia and my channel is Sought After, and I'm doing a fundraising for the homeless people in the city of London. And I actually would like to say, share some stories about my experiences, and I also would like to ask my friend Andrei to share his experiences. So as you know, there are quite a lot of people who are ending up homeless, and especially in the COVID, it's very dangerous because it was winter. Now is a better weather though, but still sleeping outside is not very pleasant, and people end up homeless because either it's their fault or someone else's fault, doesn't really matter. The fact is that there are about 3,400 homeless people just in the city of London. So Andrei, can you share your story, anything you like about your situation?
Well, what I can say is that I was already sleeping on sofa surfing on my cousin's couch, on my cousin's sofa. After a few months it became unbearable, so I didn't know exactly what to do. I slept into a hostel for roughly 2 weeks. I ran out of money. I had to go into the street. And for a while I was on and off between the hostel and on the street. When I was completely out of money, I didn't know exactly what to do anymore. I just woke up one morning. I was sleeping in this hostel in Greenwich, and I woke up. I started to Google, what do you do if you're homeless? And
So what do you do when you're homeless?
And online it said if you're homeless, you can approach any council. If you've been into a council, you can approach that council, but you can approach any council if you are in danger of becoming homeless, or if you are already homeless. I didn't know exactly what to do, but I could remember there was a housing association on the Isle of Dogs, which was very close to Greenwich, very close to the hostel where I was at that time. So I didn't have any money for transportation. This is the reason why I went there. I thought about the closest place where I could go and get some information.
Yeah.
I went into this housing association. This housing association told me that they don't deal with this stuff. So they've sent me to a different headquarters in Poplar. I went to Poplar again, walked. It's not that far, but again walked there. In Poplar, they said, we don't do it here either. You have to go to the council. I asked, well, where's the council offices? They gave me the council office addresses. Again, walked all the way there. I've arrived there. At the council, they've asked me some weird questions, but I remember that I don't remember the exact conversation right now. If I would sit down and I would think a little bit about it, I would start
So I guess why are you here if you have a job, and why did you become a homeless?
Yeah.
That's the general question what they always ask, because they want to find out if you are, for example, sick, because the sick people, they're getting prioritized.
I have diabetes type 1. I
So
told
that
them
time
that.
did you have diabetes already?
Yeah. At that time I have had diabetes.
So you are basically someone who is at risk, and especially when you are homeless, then you should be put somewhere safe, because especially now in the COVID, there are some people who are more at risk. So for example, the asthmatic people, also people with heart problem, and the diabetic people also. So did they tell you?
Whilst I was on the street, I was maintaining my blood sugar levels higher, because you never know when you eat. So you never know I didn't know how I would get my blood sugar to stay high enough. So I was maintaining it high just to make sure that I don't get into hypos, collapse on the floor and on the ground, and go into coma. And being homeless, I don't know how many people would jump in to help you.
Did you also ask for money on the street? Some people, they sit outside and ask for money.
I sat on the street, on the ground. I have received money, but I never asked, as in give me money.
Yeah.
One time I did something. It was more of a test, and for me it was more to engage with people.
Yeah.
Because I kind of wanted to engage with them in order for them to understand better the situation of homeless people. So what I did back then was made a question mark on an A4 piece of paper. Yes, I made a cup, and doing this, I was hoping that they would ask a question
Yeah. And did
or
they?
something. Actually, no. They were just the most engaging the most engaging conversation was oh, very interesting. It was actually a conversation. It was, oh, very interesting. At least you're doing something. Here's some money. So I was actually wanted to talk, but
Yeah. So that's
to
what.
finish my story, sorry
Yeah.
to interrupt, because it is very important. The council has sent me to a charity.
Okay.
At that time, they've sent me to Providence Road in the Delos Center. I went there at Delos Center, and they said they can't help me, so I have to come back the next day. Another homeless person, he saw me and he said, if you want, I have a place under a bridge if you want to sleep there. And again, another homeless person has offered his help.
Yeah.
And I had to sleep under a bridge a month, roughly a month, until I got a place in a church's circuit. Every day a different church. I had to change every day of the week. So every Monday was a church, every Tuesday a different church, and like that until Sunday. But in this place they would guarantee that you can sleep there. You would have a seat only for 30 days.
Okay.
In the meantime, whilst I was here, the people at Delos Center, they were trying to help me. I could see that they've tried to help me. They recommended me because they said that they can't understand how they can help me. At that time, my case was a little bit trickier, a little bit more complicated. So they've sent me to Crisis. Crisis has sent me to Glassdoor, a different charity, which they've offered me a place in their churches. It was the same system, but it's just that in this place it was guaranteed for 3 months.
Okay.
And if I would work with Glassdoor, they would provide me for 2-3 months longer. But after that, if I would not have solved anything, I would have been back on the street. And I was lucky that the lockdown has been placed. And when the lockdown has been placed, the government has taken us in a way forcefully, but it doesn't matter. I was happy. I had a place, a roof over my head. I had what to eat, lunch, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So I was happy, warm, everything. And since then, I've been for 12 months, nearly 12 months, in these GLA-funded hotels. Short story, my story.
So 12 months, you see, it's a very long time. And you know, I always wonder how people can end up like 15 years, because I talked to someone who was, you know, Ian, who I made a video with him during summertime. You know, I was wondering how on earth he could end up 15 years in the street. But you see, Andrei's case, he is already 1 year almost, yes?
Only in the GLA funded hotels I was 4 months and a half in the churches.
Yeah.
And 3 months and a half on the streets, on and off.
So what do the charity, you know, who is helping you saying? Do they say that they're gonna put you to a temporary accommodation, which is like long term?
They make a lot of promises. That's what I can say. Especially as an example, when they took us from the shelters, they told us, we will put you in this hotel, you will stay there for a while, and from this hotel you will definitely go into accommodation. We will help you find a job and we will get you into accommodation. Again, 12 months later, here I am.
So, but I heard that you had a job. So how did you manage to find a job on the end?
St. Mungo's, the charity who is organizing the GLA-funded hotels, they've in one of these places they've brought a recruiter. This recruiter has scrambled a team. She was amazing. I mean, anyway, she scrambled a team of recruiters, and she asked them, "Do you want to do this?" And the funny thing, their motto was, "We want to put ourselves out of job," as in to eradicate homelessness and to put all homeless people into jobs and for them to be left out of job. And these people, they are the ones who found the company who I am working for. They are the ones who have helped me get the interview. They are the ones who have helped me train for the interview.
That's nice.
They are the ones who have pushed to Semangos, for Semangos to provide me with a tablet where I can do my online training for the job that I was supposed to get. So, but again, they had to push. They had to ask, because when I have asked, they didn't have a tablet to give to me.
So I see that still. So now you have a job. You're still homeless. You're still in this sheltered accommodation, right? And I found out what you shared me before that now because of the COVID and of the restriction of the government, that Andrei has to shield himself. So you are not working at that moment, at today, right?
No, I'm not working.
So you know.
Well, I'm in statutory
employed.
sick pay. Yes, I am still employed. I'm in statutory sick pay.
So I'm just wondering because I heard that, for example, these charities also offering like private rented accommodation.
Yes,
Did they offer you too?
They've made me an offer. They've told me that I have to, first of all, I have to sign the offer where it says that they will then offer me a place. They will move me into a temporary accommodation. In this temporary accommodation, they have 20 or 21 days or so to find me a place. Within this time, they have to. After they find me a place, they will offer me this place, and if I do not take it, it's up to me. This is what it's been told to me. It's up to me. It's not. I do not have the right to refuse. In the beginning, the first time when they told me about this, I said, I can't do this. If you're offering me a place which I'm unhappy with, what if you're offering me a place that is way too expensive? It's over my budget.
Yeah.
And also, what if the price doesn't compensate for the quality?
Yeah.
I could not accept this. But next day during the night, I was thinking, you know what? I'll just leave it in the hands of the Lord. I'll just leave it in the hands of God. And I just hope that my angels will do in a way for a proper place to be offered to me.
Yeah, because the main thing is that obviously now you have a job, so theoretically you do have an income which you can basically pay for the accommodation, but obviously if it's too expensive, then he won't be able to pay for it. So I presume that these charities, they offer you something which is not that expensive, which is affordable.
I'm not talking this from my own experience, because I didn't yet reach to that point. But in these places, I have met people who have started work as well.
Yeah.
Places have been offered to them.
Yeah.
And at the same time, they were looking for places by themselves. And the place that was offered to them by Semangos was a lot more expensive, and no bills included. They were supposed to pay the bills as well, and a lot further away from the workplace than the place that they have found. This is just an example of one person, but I've heard many stories like this. It's a business.
So I also heard, for example, from one of the person who I met on the street, that he actually got this accommodation where they put him and it was full of rats. So, on the end of the day, it's quite a big issue with the mice in the city of London, obviously. But, imagine that you are coming from the street, you are homeless. Yes, you're gonna be put into a safe accommodation for a certain time, because that's how the charities work. They put you to a temporary accommodation, and after that, in that time, meanwhile you are there, they are helping you with jobs, exactly as for you. Yeah,
They're not helping everyone with jobs. This is something that it needs to be clear.
Okay.
They're not helping everyone. I see these people every day in these places, and I used to see them. Now, because I'm shielding, I don't go out that much anymore. I have to go out to do my exercises because of my diabetes, but and I don't see them that much anymore. But before, I used to see them and talk to them every day.
They don't have jobs.
They're not. I don't know exactly what is happening, but they're not that much interested in getting them jobs.
I see.
It's as long as there's someone there, they receive the funding. This is how I see it.
But it's difficult to really, judge because we don't really see into the situation fully. But obviously, we can have an opinion about it. So, I'm just saying that I can't understand how on earth someone is helped by a charity and still homeless in that sense, for a year and still not able to actually have accommodation. And despite of that, for example, Andrei is working now, so yes, it would be now for him also a blessing to be having his own place where he knows like, oh yes, finally I am here and I don't need to worry, because he went through quite a bad time, and he actually, as he said, slept under the bridge. So
I remember about that bridge. Sorry to interrupt. I remember because you've mentioned the mice and the rats and the bridge. Under that bridge, the night before receiving the accommodation, before sleeping in the churches, in the first circuit of churches, I remember there were like probably 20 rats around me, and I was in my sleeping bag, and I was just praying that for them. I didn't care even. I didn't even care anymore. It was like,
oh no,
please, just I don't care anymore. I hope they will stay away, and that's it. But I was lucky. I didn't feel anything. The next day, I received it's been told to me that I can go and sleep for 30 days in churches. So I was like, oh my God, thank you.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story, and I hope it all will get better from now on, and that you will manage to find somewhere safe to live.
I hope that as well.
So bye bye people, thank you for
Bye.
watching, and see you for the next video. Bye!